Most entrepreneurs don't fail because of bad ideas or lack of ability. After now having helped over 4,000 people start and grow their own business, I've seen that the biggest cause of failure is that people burn out and give up. These are the 10 rules that prevented that from happening to me and helped me cross over 8 figures in the process. But I didn't start out with these. In fact, exactly the opposite. When I first started, I said yes to everything. Every call, every quick chat, every question, because that's what we're taught to do. It felt like I was giving my best. But what I was really doing was leaking out all of my energy. That's why this first rule was born out of necessity. And it's the bedrock of the freedom business that I have today. Rule number 1, no public links to my calendar. This one often surprises people, especially when they're asking for a quick chat. Hey, send me your calendar link. I don't have one. On purpose. Now, occasionally there are some exceptions, just to be completely transparent. Like right now, I've opened up a few spots on my calendar every week to speak with people who are interested in my current VIP coaching offer. But in general, to get my time, you have to get past the ultimate gatekeeper, me. It's not about not being nice or not wanting to help people, but your most precious resource is your time. It's literally the one thing that you cannot get more of. So if we really need to hop on a call, absolutely, we'll make it happen. But I believe when you make something too available, it starts to get undervalued. Whereas having a little bit of that friction reminds you and everyone around you that your time is valuable and to stop and think before giving it out randomly. This is a rule I get a lot of pushback for because people think, oh, you're too good to, talk to people. No, I'm definitely not. But I'm the steward of my time just as you are the steward of yours. And if you don't treat it accordingly, no one else will either. This stewardship, respect of your resources, and high value energy is something that flows throughout my entire business, including rule number 2. Premium energy only. If you've been around in my world, LZ land, for any amount of time, then you're probably aware everything I create is either free or expensive. There's really not much in between, and I also don't discount. For the last about 10 years, the only time I've really done any sort of sale is during my once a year thank you for being here promotion. Here's why I've chosen to go this way and why I believe it's been essential to help me be able to sustain the business and continue to grow without burning out. A lot of gurus and other business coaches love to talk about how low priced is the way to go. It's easier to sell, you'll sell more, you're giving more value, but as with most things, I've tested it. And my personal experience, which I trust more than any person I don't know, has showed me that it's actually exactly the opposite. First, when you sell a lower priced product, that means you have lower margin to create a truly high value product. If it cost me hundreds to thousands of dollars to design, create the slides for, and set up the course, how well can I actually do it if I'm selling like a $10 or $20 product? Also, I've seen that people value something in proportion to how much they pay for it. So if something is $9, even if it's massively valuable, people are only going to value it at around that $9 range. And finally, I believe in business, it's up to you to decide who you want to do business with, and you get to create an environment of the type of people that you want to be around. Again, from my personal experience, I just haven't seen that non-premium offers bring in the type of dream clients that most of us want. I will tell you, I've sold everything from like $9 offers to 100,000 plus offers. And the toughest clients to deal with, who expect you to give them the moon and the stars, are the ones who pay the least. So I wanted to build a business that I would actually enjoy, work with people I actually really appreciate. And so I decided that's not for me. And I'm gonna challenge you to sit with this as well. If you truly believe in the value of what you have to offer, why would you not charge a price commensurate with that value? It's not being generous to charge less. I think it's being cowardly. You're not willing to claim the standard of what you think needs to be met to charge that higher price. Now, that being said, I also understand not everyone can afford to pay premium pricing right off the bat. So we are about giving value, thus the other end of the spectrum. If you're not ready for the premium pricing, maybe ever, that's totally fine. Please enjoy and use all of my free content. I hope you can tell we put so much work and effort into every single piece of free content that we put out. And I've been doing it for the last 10 years. When and if you're ready, let's do it right. Let's do it seriously with the support and materials that are gonna actually get you the results. And I think that sums it up, right? Either do it right or don't do it at all. AKA charge and deliver premium, or don't charge at all. Now, rule number 3, it's kind of sad that it needs to be said, but in this day and age, unfortunately, it does. And that rule for me is no lies. That means I will not and do not use any false scarcity or pressure tactics to drive more sales. Of course, if there is actual scarcity, like there are only X spots in this program because you get my personal time, then of course I'll use it. But if there's not, I won't. For example, in my flagship employee to entrepreneur program, we don't have any false deadlines for when you can join. You join when you're ready so that we can actually work together and get the best results. And here's why I do it this way, aside from the obvious of like, be a good person and be in integrity always. Warren Buffett famously said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and just 5 minutes to ruin it. It's true. I don't think any amount of sales is worth your reputation or integrity, especially if your intention is to be in your business for life. I've found that if you stand in your integrity, you're gonna get what you're putting out. You're gonna attract dream clients who meet you there as well. And as always with most of my beliefs, I've now got the data to back it up. I believe this is one of the top reasons why my business has the unbelievably high sales and conversion rates and low refund and default rates that it does compared to the norms in the industry. Now let's talk about rule number 4. This is another time-related rule. Nobody gets my time for free. I'm not saying not to give value. There's a huge distinction here. Absolutely be generous with your knowledge and your value. I mean, look at all the free content I put out. What I'm talking about is your time specifically. So I give generously, of course, to my paying clients, but I won't coach, I won't respond to cold pitches, I won't give anyone who demands my time without my acquiescence for free. I once shared this in a short and someone accused me in the comments of being, to put it nicely, not nice. I disagree. I actually consider myself a very kind person, but I also value myself, my time, my energy, and all the time and energy I've put into developing the skills and expertise that I have. I think one of the best gifts you can give to yourself as both an entrepreneur and just a human being is to value those things in yourself as well. And if you do, then you know it's not being unkind to value that and limit how other people can access it, especially again, if they're initiating without your acquiescence. To me, this really just boils down to valuing yourself, your time, and your energy. Because if you don't, no one else will. Now, rule number 5, this is a super tangible one. Pretty much every video on my channel and every piece of content I put out gives you tangible steps or takeaways that you can go off and start using right away. Action above all else. This belief runs through everything I do. And I think this is a key mentality for a few reasons. First, it makes it super easy for me to communicate with my team because we're not just, chit-chatting or discussing random things. There are always tangible takeaways that eliminate overwhelm and confusion and make it clear for everybody what our responsibilities are and what we need to do to grow the business so that the rest of the time we can go off and enjoy our lives. It also does the same thing for me. I am a huge overthinker and perfectionist by nature. But when you force yourself to condense things into the tangible next steps, what that does is it takes you out of your head and gets you to thinking about, okay, am I doing the thing or am I not? So let me give you a few examples of how this literally runs through everything that I do. Whether it's with a client, business partner, or team member, we always wrap up the call with tangible takeaways. Okay, you're gonna go do X by this date, I'm gonna do this, these are gonna be the takeaways. I also define my own baseline roles and the roles of my team members by our daily or monthly non-negotiables. No matter how overwhelming things get or how life gets in the way, we always know, all right, if we get these things done, we've done enough. And this sounds simple, and it is simple, but I think this has been instrumental in helping me continue to maintain and grow the business through everything that goes on in life, like family sicknesses, things that take you out, just the personal events that come up as you're living your life. And it's not just how I do things, it's how we do everything in the business. For example, my employee to entrepreneur program coaches who give private coaching to the employee to entrepreneur clients, they're trained that for pretty much every single email and question that comes in, they need to give clear and tangible next steps for what to do next. How confused and how stuck can you really stay if you're taking some sort of action every single day? And even in my sales policies, like when I offer a refund policy, I am very clear. clear that the only way to get a refund is to do all the work and show us that you did the work. And I don't make it difficult on purpose. I literally say upfront, if you're not willing to do the work, do not buy. But it's because I have just seen over and over again, it doesn't matter how smart, how lucky, or how advantaged you are starting out. Ultimately, what it almost always boils down to for when people fail is because they simply did not follow through. So I always bring it back to the action. Also, what I really like, action doesn't discriminate. You either did it or you didn't. I think it evens the playing field and makes it fair for everybody. All right, I know I spent a lot of time talking about that rule, but I just think action is so important. Honestly, even if you're doing something and you're doing it wrong, you're gonna learn and grow from that. So please, if you take nothing away, action. All right, rule number 6, I have a one strike policy. The way I was raised, Asian, Southern, that Southern politeness, is that I first try to give the benefit of the doubt to everybody because I treat people the way that I would want to be treated. If you treat me that way, amazing, we're gonna get along so well. But if not, one strike is all you get. After that, you are out of my world. Because again, in business, it's not just about taking on whoever wants to pay you. It's your business. You get to choose who you want to work with and who you want to let into your world. This way, not only do you enjoy your business more, but you have better client relationships, you have better testimonials and reputation, and it's just a win-win all around. Anybody who is rude to my team has free reign to refund and block. And this one someone actually tried to accuse me of being out of integrity for, and I'll explain that in a second. But if you buy from me and ask for a refund, if you follow the refund policy, yes, absolutely, we'll give you a refund, no questions asked. But after that, you will not be able to buy from us again. And this isn't about doing some weird power or control thing. For me, it's about knowing who you're here to help and what you're here to do. Because if someone asks for a refund, I respect that, but it was either because my material wasn't a fit for you, in which case, if one product isn't a fit for you, my other products, which are taught with the same me, are probably not gonna be a fit for you either. Or there's a lack of integrity because that's the kind of person you are, in which case, I definitely don't want to be doing business with you. So to the story I mentioned just a bit ago about how someone actually recently tried to accuse us of being out of integrity. Someone purchased my employee to entrepreneur program, and then right before the refund policy expired, sent in all of the completed worksheets and asked for a refund. Now, my team checked with me on this one because you could tell that the worksheets had been just like filled in not intentionally to just qualify for the refund terms. Like we're talking like one-word answers and just like, half done. So I said, you know what, this is not someone we need to be working with. They obviously really want a refund, so go ahead and give it to them. And then of course, make sure that we're not offering them any of our other programs in the future. A few months after that, this person used a different email and purchased another one of our programs. But my team noticed the name because we try and actually get to know as many of our clients as we can and treat them like human beings. And so they immediately refunded that person and explained to them the situation. The person then came back and basically said, I'm so disappointed by this lack of integrity. I had purchased Employee Entrepreneur. I had submitted all the material to qualify for the refund policy. And then get this, I went on and used that material from that program to get my first client. And now I'm using the proceeds from that to invest in this other program with you guys. I think that's all that needs to be said. Sometimes it boggles my mind how people think and what they think is okay. The point is, I'm not looking to be a fit for everyone. I'm looking to help my dream people, and I believe that's all we can do. And this guides rule number 7 as well. There's kind of a little bit of overlap between rule number 6 and rule number 7, but they're different enough that I wanted to separate them out. Not all money is good money. Years ago, I was at, I don't remember what airport, and I picked up one of those airport books. I think it's called like Happy Money. And there's this idea that you want to have happy money, where people are happy to pay you. Now, that doesn't mean you don't hold your policies of making sure that people meet their payment plans and holding their end of the deal when you held your end of the deal. But in general, my goal is to receive happy money, where my clients are happy to pay me because they're excited to learn from me, they're ready, they're getting the results. I or my team are excited to help them because we know we can. Exchange of value, everyone is happy, win-win. Now, I'm not perfect with this, I'm human, but in general, I try to only accept happy money. The flip side of that means I turn away money that in a way that sometimes surprises people. I turn away more private coaching applicants each year than I accept. And people are surprised by that because it is a significant 5-figure package. I have literally had private coaching clients who I send a nice note to telling them we're not a good fit, respond back and say, what, you don't want my money? Thankfully, I'm at a point in my business and life where I do have the privilege of being able to choose who I work with. And that wasn't the case for me early on. So this rule rule did take some time to build up to, but this goes back to the definition of business, which is ultimately a business is an exchange of value. I want the exchange to feel good and fair for me and my clients. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you're taking on clients responsibly, clients who you at least believe you have a chance of helping because you can't predict and control everything, but you've done your best, and who you think that you'll enjoy working with. That's also why I have rule number 8, which is no victims. I 1000% agree with the idea of radical responsibility. Stuff happens. Life is out of our control. But here's also the thing. What you can control is how you react to all the things that happen. So are you the type of person who takes responsibility and you get the help you need to figure out what you need? Or are you the type of person who stays stuck in victimhood and blame and story? This isn't about not having empathy, because I've definitely been in victim mentality myself, and I know sometimes really bad stuff happens. But the way I see it, especially in my role as a coach and business owner and leader, is are we gonna stay wallowing, or are we gonna do something to solve it? If you're gonna stay stuck in that blame and story, then nobody can help you. So for my clients, my team, yes, take the time you need to feel through your emotions. But separate from that, I don't coach or lead or manage from or into victim mentality. We take radical responsibility for whatever is going on, we problem solve, and we walk through it. So at this point, you're probably noticing a pattern. A lot of these rules are rules that work for me to create the type of business that feels good to me. Because if you enjoy it, it feels good, you believe in what you're doing, it's a lot easier to sustain. While the specifics might look different to you because you're a different person, I think the principles are the same. How do you want to run your business? What do you enjoy doing? Who do you enjoy working with? Who do you not enjoy working with? How are you going to take responsibility for creating the business and life that you want? Because you're going to get hate for it no matter what you do. Anybody who dares to have any sort of boundaries or success, you're going to have haters. But are you going to be brave enough to look past that to claim what you want, or not? Which leads me to rule number 9. This one has been so key to my peace of mind. No networking or connection calls of any kind whatsoever. I am a huge introvert. Working in front of my computer, thinking, creating, that is my happy place. Anything with other humans I love, but is massively draining for me. That's why from the beginning, I knew I was gonna build my business model, my team, my schedule to a point where I could do just 2 weeks a month with calls. And that's what I have these days. Even during those 2 weeks a month when I do calls, most of the time it's only Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and max, if even, 4 calls a day on those days. So I did it a little bit differently. I first worked backwards with what I knew would be sustainable and not burn me out. And then I worked and built my business, my life, my schedule to fit around that. I think this is really important because when you first start with the end in mind, it forces you to get clear on the boundaries and the limits that you want to set. What doing this really early on forced me to do was force me to get into this mentality of being really selective with my time and my energy. So of course, my time is gonna go to my actual clients, and it's gonna go to potential clients. And outside of that, the rest is for me, my creative time, what recharges me, my family and friends, and my team. You know that saying, and I love this, you can have everything you want, just not all at once. I think once you get clear on what really matters to you, then everything else becomes what's gotta give. And what I've found over the years is that honestly, for people who matter, for things that matter also, you'll find the time. For example, this hasn't really cost me any deep relationships, because if we're meant to connect, we'll find a way to first develop that connection in that relationship. But I know it's kind of different from what other people teach. So you know what? High five to us introverts protecting our peace, which brings us to rule number 10. Anyone who's got your back, who helps you protect your peace, run your business and your life, you get their back too. Thus this rule, team first. Even though I'm the face of the business, I'm actually the lowest person on the totem pole in terms of being taken care of. And to be clear, I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm so selfless. I'm definitely not. And also, yes, I'm absolutely the boss, but here's the distinction. For 99.9% of people, you will not be able to have the business that you want if you don't have the right team in place to support it, and you. But that team will not be there to support you and have your back if they don't feel like you have theirs. One of the things I am most proud of. Once someone joins my team, they usually stay for a really long time. My oldest team member has been with me for over 9 years, and that's because of how I treat them. Not only do I pay all my people well and promptly, but also the team gets paid before I do. There have been years, and I've talked about this before, where I personally didn't take a salary because we were growing and I was learning and making mistakes too, and profit margin was tight. So the cash that came in was used to pay the expenses and the team, and sometimes I didn't get paid. And if you're wondering how I lived, very frugally. I didn't have like a trust fund or anything. I love how stylist La Roche put it about his loyalty to Zendaya, and I'm paraphrasing. If you really care about changing someone's life, you change their finances. And that's what Zendaya has done for me. I think all the treating people right and all of that is important, but people need to be able to pay their bills. And because my team knows I have their back financially, I'm not just looking to get mine and screw everyone else over. They're happy to have my back in return and help take care of me and the business in a way that they otherwise wouldn't. Also, I make it as easy as possible for my team to do what they need to do. Clear communications, clear deadlines. And I treat them, and thus the team treats each other, like human beings. So when stuff comes up or when people make mistakes, which does happen because we're human, on top of big life changes, moves, maternity leave, things like that, we make it work together. This way, it's really clear. Look, we're all really working towards the same goal. If the business does well, we all win and grow. Now, these rules did keep me from burning out, but I'm gonna be honest, they did not keep me from overworking. For years, I really thought that the answer to pretty much everything was just to hustle harder. That is, until I stumbled on this one idea that did feel ridiculous at first, but turned out to be one of the biggest game changers in my business. If you're a fan of working less while getting bigger and better results, I think you're gonna love the story and tips I share in this next video.